Hello, and welcome back. Today we have, playing through my NES collection, number 1, Shadowgate. Shadowgate is a point-and-click adventure originally released in black and white for the Macintosh in 1987. It was later ported to the NES in 1989, this time in full color. The last thing that you remember is standing before the wizard Lockmere as he waved his hands. Now, you find yourself staring at an entryway which lies at the edge of a forest. The druid's words ring in your ears. Within the castle Shadowgate lies your quest. The dreaded Warlock Lord will use his black magic to raise the behemoth from the dark depths. The combination of his evil arts and the great Titan's power will surely destroy us all. You are the last of the line of kings, the seed of prophecy that was foretold eons ago. Only you can stop the evil one from darkening our world forever. Fare thee well. Gritting your teeth, you swear by your god's name that you will destroy the Warlock Lord. The player then takes control, and the game begins. You see a wide variety of options in front of you, and the basic premise is a game of trial and error. However, if you choose poorly, you will be killed in a wide variety of creative ways. You will see torches when you enter the castle, and these must be maintained to avoid darkness. I explore the castle and try different doors, but they were all locked, and it takes me quite a while to figure out the very first puzzle. The game will even insult you for taking too long. Eventually, I make my way back outside and check above the door and discover Key 1 hidden behind a skull. I then enter the castle and take the torches off the wall. As I did, my torch in hand went out, and I trip and fall to my death. The timing here actually tripped me up for a little while, as I thought taking both torches resulted in my death, not realizing that it coincidentally happened at the exact moment my torch died, so I didn't grab these again. Luckily, the game lets you continue from your most recent checkpoint, and for an older game, these were extremely fair. Finally, I unlock the door in front of me and proceed deeper. The stone walls seem uncomfortably close as you walk down the stairs. I check the book nearby and find key 2 within its pages. I then attempt to take the book from its pedestal, but this releases a trapdoor, and I fall to my death. I make my way back and move forward to a room with 3 doors, but the new key won't work on any. I backtrack and unlock a door in the first room. Inside, I find a sword and a sling and take both. After dying to darkness again, and wandering around aimlessly for a while, I uncover a hidden pathway in the wall. Inside the secret passage is a room with more torches and an arrow. I hadn't quite figured out the torches still, and die to darkness yet again. I return to the secret passage and move on. You stand at the edge of a deep chasm. From the darkness below arise the screams of the undead. I choose to cross the bridge, which was another wrong choice, and I fall to my death. The next time, I go the other way. What's this? A wraith is standing in your way, barring your path. I try to hit it, but I'm too afraid to get close. After many failed attempts, I light a torch and throw it at the wraith. With a blinding flash, the white flame engulfs the undead apparition. I then move on, not realizing that a cloak was hanging on the wall that I would need to come back for later. The next room had many items in it. This small stone chamber is lined on one side by 2 barred portals. I take what items I can and read the sign on the wall. E-Pour. Reading this over and over reveals that this is actually a magic spell. With this now available, I continue to open and read the scroll I just acquired. Five to find, 3 are won. 1 gives access, the Bladed Sun. Hopefully, this comes in handy later. After, I use my newly learned spell, which makes the previously loose rope on the floor tighten and rise to the ceiling, revealing another passage. I climb up and stand before 3 mirrors. This room full of mirrors reminds you of the Elven Funhouse at King Otto's Fair. I fumbled around here before taking the broom against the wall and leaving behind me. This long cold hallway is lined on either side by half a dozen coffins. I open the closest coffin, which reveals a mummy inside. I think back to Grab by the Ghoulies on the original Xbox, where fire is the only thing that can destroy mummies, so I threw a torch at it. This works, as the mummy catches on fire and leaves behind ash and a scepter. I take this and leave the coffin room. I open the door on the right and enter a cave with a shark-infested lake and skeleton. I proceed past these to a waterfall with rocks on the beach. I grab all of the rocks and look behind the waterfall. In this area, a rock looked out of place, so I hit it loose. Behind it lies a leather pouch. I open bag 1, which contains 3 jewels, a white, red, and blue gem. With nothing left here, I backtrack and find a new room. You enter a cold room. The stench of flesh in decay pervades the small chamber. You begin to shiver. This room is really cold. I again fumble around, until eventually realizing that a small gem-sized hole is on the wall. I place the white gem, and it fits perfectly. This makes an ice-cold crystal sphere appear, which I proceed to take. Fear grips you as you enter this hot room. Many items lie on the floor. With so many options, I decide to start with the shield, which turns out to be really lucky. Just as I grab it, a dragon's flame bursts towards me. With the shield in hand, I can protect myself from the heat. I then continue to grab items, protected by the shield each time, but it's getting hotter. I should have listened to this warning, as I grabbed one too many items and the shield melts. Without it, my body doesn't fare any better, and I die. On my next try, I stop short of burning to death and take what items I can. I then walk around in circles until finally making my way back to the lake again. I use the ice-cold sphere to freeze the lake. Not only is the shark subdued, but I can now reach Key 3 in the skeleton's hand. With this in hand, I use a torch to melt the lake enough to take back the sphere. From here, I make my way back to the flesh room and enter the trap door. Unfortunately, the ladder down is broken, and I fall to my death. Back from the grave, I explore more and find myself back in the Epor room. The back wall appears to have a door-like cutout, and sure enough, a secret passage lies beyond the rocks. In this room is another gem-shaped hole. This time, the blue gem is a perfect fit, and the back wall begins to rise. Behind it lies a wizard. Listen, warrior, the Warlock Lord can only be defeated by thy courage and the Staff of Ages. Remember, 5 to find, 3 for the staff, 1 to be the key, and 1 to be thy pathway. And with that, the wizard is gone, leaving behind a scroll. Scroll 2 reads, "As the shadow of the wind, thou shalt be." Humana, revealing another magical spell. I then head back to the mirror room and decide to bust through one of the mirrors in hopes of finding a secret passage. You have opened a magic portal into deep space. The lack of air causes you to quickly lose consciousness. The Grim Reaper quickly embraces you. After, I decide to try again, but my luck is no better. Shards of glass fly through the air and slice into your body. Blood pours from your wounds and your body slumps to the floor. With only one mirror left to try, I decide I have nothing to lose. Luckily, this one doesn't have death behind it, but rather an iron door, which of course is locked. Fortunately, key 3 does the trick, and I move forward. Inside this next room is a path with fire on both sides. The heat is unbearable, and you have to turn back. Now, this is where the cloak I didn't see from a while back would have come in handy. So, after struggling to figure out what to do for a very long time, I made my way back and retrieved the cloak. With this, I can now survive the intense heat. Thinking back to the lake, I throw the sphere into the flames, which disappear and allow for safe passage. As you step on the bridge, a troll appears and says, "This bridge is mine." It'll cost you a gold coin to cross. Unable and unwilling to pay the fee, I try to hit the troll, but this sadly doesn't work. The troll then picks up the bridge, causing you to fall into the chasm. After failing many times, I decided to phone a friend, and was told to try the spear, since the troll is standing with the chasm behind it. Amazingly, this worked. The troll falls silently into the dark cavern. You listen, but you do not hear him crash. It must be a long way down. I move on and enter the courtyard. This time, a Cyclops stands in my way. Like David vs. Goliath, I put a rock in my sling and hurl it at the Cyclops' head. Down it goes. I try to take his weapon in case he wakes up, but I can't, so I move on. I should have been more thorough in this room, as I will be back. The next room has several options, so I pick the closest door. This first room is a library, with many items I can grab, but I notice the hole in the wall and use the last remaining gem. This moves the bookcase to enter a hidden passage. I light a fire to warm the room, but nothing else happens. I take what items I can and head back to the Cyclops room. Unfortunately, he has woken up, so I lay him out again, and this time explore better. Inside the nearby well, I discover a gauntlet, which will hopefully come in handy later. I then head back to the library. This time, I open the desk and take the contents within. After clicking around with no success, I eventually try on the glasses, which allow me to read the nearby book. The light grows faint, the path winds round. Where life is lost, wisdom is found. The seed of the dream, for the evil is free. Where the sword is hung, he must place the key. Mortori riseth. Another magic spell is learned. Unsure of where to go, I opened scroll 3. Lands under the heavens, the key to the world. Terra Tarak. Another spell. Might as well open scroll 4 too. To move the sun from far to near, light is what the darkness fears. Instantum Illumina. Another spell. With these, I head back to the fireplace room and try them out. Tarak, when chanted, opens up the nearby globe. Inside is key 6. I then backtrack and head into the next room. This one looks like a lab and smells really bad. I take several items before opening a nearby cabinet. Unfortunately, it was holding back a mutated dog, and it proceeds to attack and rip me apart. After returning, I leave the latch alone, but discover a hidden compartment in the floor. Unsure, I open it anyway. Inside is a vial of water, which I grab. I then continue into a garden with a water fountain. A wooden flute lies in the water, so I reach in and grab it. As you reach for the flute, you touch the water, and pain explodes through your hand. The water is extremely acidic, and obviously not good for drinking. But at least I didn't die this time. With the gauntlet from earlier, I protect my hand, but before I can snatch the flute from the water, my torch goes out, as I wasn't paying attention, and I die. I recover, and this time, take the flute. Not concerned for my lips, I play the instrument without even washing off the acid. The music opens a hole in the tree nearby. Within the tree lies a ring. I take it and leave for the banquet hall. I take what items I can from the area and even light the rug on fire, revealing a hidden key underneath. I then use key 5 and open the door on the right side at the top of the stairs. Standing before me is a large sphinx, blocking the path forward, but it doesn't appear to be violent. I try to play it a lullaby with the flute, like Harry does to Fluffy in the Sorcerer's Stone, but this sends me all the way back to the Troll Bridge. I eventually make my way back and try many different things, but with no luck. It turns out, all you have to do is try to walk past it. The Sphinx demands that you answer a riddle to earn passage. The Sphinx can ask a wide variety of questions, so you need many potential items in your inventory. Fortunately, the solution to mine was the horseshoe. This allows me to pass to the next room, an observatory. I look into the telescope, which luckily doesn't kill me, and take what items I can, including another scroll. Observing the stars, the Throne constellation appears once every 5 summers. Legend says it is a portal to another land. I then proceed up the ladder, where a woman is found chained up. I attempt to grab a nearby item, but the woman immediately transforms into a wolf, killing me. The wolf's powerful jaws rip your throat out. On my next attempt, I'm not tricked, and use the arrow, which is silver, and destroy the werewolf, taking the blade next to the body as well. I then head back and use key 4, which unlocks the door in front of me to another corridor that leads outside. I reach a lookout point and spot some goodies on the ledge. I go to take a pot of gold, but this was a trap, and I fall to my death. You find yourself knee-deep in the moat. It seems the alligators really enjoy your company. On my next try, I decide to use key 6 on the stairway door and try my luck this way instead. This small room doesn't have much, but a horn lies on the floor. Before I can grab it, a horrifying beast appears in front of me. I try to hit it with the star, but the demon snarls and pounces. I then try the poker, but yet again, death. Finally, I try the water, which I didn't realize was actually holy water, and the Hellhound is destroyed. I can then take the horn and leave. I then head outside, but find a blue dragon in the night sky. This time, the star works, as it fires at the dragon like an overpowered star rod from Smash Bros. The dragon was a wyvern, and it smashes to pieces. This allows me to take the talisman it was guarding. I then backtrack and find myself at the tricky ledge from earlier. This time, I try my luck on the left side, and I'm actually able to snag the pouch. Inside are gold coins that would have been useful to pay the troll earlier, but I probably would have attacked him anyway. Moving through the castle, I then find a throne room with a skeleton sitting in front of me. I try many things and run out of torches before finally going back outside and placing the rod on the ledge. This triggers a lightning strike, revealing a wand hidden below. I take this back to the throne, but it doesn't work here either. Eventually, I give up and explore the castle, until reaching the bridge I collapsed and died at earlier. With Bottle 2, I can drink the contents, which has a Willy Wonka fizzy lifting drink effect. I float past the bridge and encounter a snake on the other side. With a flick of the wand, the snake shrinks and reforms into a beautiful staff. I grab this and finally have what I need for the throne room. Or that is what I thought. After dying multiple times, making it back, I tried to place the staff in the skeleton's hand, but this doesn't work. It turns out, I had the item I needed all along, the scepter. This opens up a hole on the wall, which just so happens to be ring-shaped. I place the ring, which opens a trapdoor at the feet of the skeleton. I drop down and try the first door on the left. Without thinking, you jump through the opening and immediately hear a loud click. Suddenly, the granite slab above you gives way and crushes you beneath it. It breaks every bone in your body. Well, I guess I won't be going that way. Instead, I reach a room with gargoyles in it. But this room is just as dangerous as the last. The gargoyles, angered at your presence, spring from their frozen state and rip you to pieces. There's not enough left of you to even feed to the birds. This time, I use the Illumina spell, which temporarily blinds the gargoyles allowing safe passage. In the next room lies another well. I open the well and hop in. With a mighty leap, you jump headfirst into the well. On the way down, you see no water below. The well was deeper than you imagined. You have just broken every bone in your body. I guess I'll avoid that room for now. After blinding the gargoyles again, I try the room on the right. A large statue blocks my path. But the Mortari spell gets rid of it quick. On the other side is a room with a large metal cylinder and 3 handles. With the right combination of presses, the cylinder will open, revealing a silver orb. I take it and go to leave, but accidentally clicked on the nearby cavern. You woke the sleeping guard from his beauty sleep. He decides to eat you for breakfast. Next time, I avoid the cavern and make my way back to the gargoyles, and pass them to the well room. I throw a coin into the well, which creates a wind vortex within. This allows me to enter the well without falling to my death. The swirling winds carry you down the deep well and set you gently into the cavern below. I hit the gong, which summons the specter. The ghostly ferryman doesn't look friendly. You hear a faint voice ask for a fare. I try to avoid paying him, but I'm left with no choice and give him a gold coin. You climb aboard the tiny raft and soon reach the opposite bank. A massive skull door and 3 columns stand before me as I think of what to do next. I mess around and get wrecked as always. You have placed the bladed sun in the wrong hole. You did not heed the warnings, and now the Warlock's Lord's defenses end your life. This time, the talisman goes in the sword hole. Playing the horn after unlocks the skull door. The cavern that you have entered is by far the largest your eyes have ever gazed upon. From the depths rises the most powerful creature that has ever existed, the Behemoth. This part was very tricky, and honestly, a guide was useful in several circumstances, but I had no idea what to do as I didn't pay close enough attention to the clues from earlier in the game. First, place the blade on the staff. Suddenly, lightning begins to flash in the room. Then, the golden spike slides smoothly onto the staff and locks into place. Next, place the orb on the staff. Light cascades through the room as the staff becomes a living entity. With this new setup, I can attack the Behemoth. You pray as you raise the Staff of Ages that it has the power that the prophets claimed. The staff pulsates with power, and a beam of light explodes from it, striking the Behemoth. The creature screams in agony, thrashing back and forth in great pain. In his rage, he grabs the Warlock Lord and descends into the depths forever. You can hear the Warlock Lord's screams fade into silence. Suddenly, it is very quiet. A beautiful light seems to fill the cavern. The morning sun, you say to yourself, it is over. Back home at Stormhaven, you are greeted with a royal welcome. The king thanks you and grants you rule over your own kingdom and his daughter's hand in marriage. You know that more adventures await, and the game ends. Overall, Shadowgate was a really fun time. It had been a while since I played a point-and-click adventure, and this took me back to playing similar games on old PCs. The graphics on the NES were beautifully colored and really added to the immersive experience. The save system was very generous and made the game fair, as it is essentially a journey of trial and error with many, many deaths. Speaking of deaths, these were some of the best parts of the game. The creative and hilariously descriptive ways in which you would die was a blast. The use of a mouse would have been easier than a controller, but navigating the menus and actions was surprisingly smooth, with only a few misclicks or hangups. The torch system was also a unique and cool way to keep you moving, as the music would begin to annoyingly intensify, making it impossible to ignore the impending doom of darkness. Unless your game is on mute, then you wouldn't notice and probably die really fast. There were so many different actions to try and figure out what to do, so the adventure was not an easy and straightforward one, which offered a decent challenge. Those with more experience in point-and-click adventures may not have had as hard of a time, but if you do struggle, a guide would be useful, but the game is purposely vague, as the exploration and discovery is part of the fun of the journey, and the checkpoint and save system made trying different things worth it, as the punishment was only ever having to replay a single room again. I recommend this game for anyone that is a fan of point-and-click adventures, and if you enjoy a Dungeons & Dragons style of story, this will be an excellent starting point to get into the genre. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time for playing through my NES collection number 2.